Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. If you are new to the channel, I'm Jamie, and this will be a reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. If you're completely new to tarot, just understand that not all readings are going to resonate with you. I'm actually going to do several spreads here, so only take the parts of this reading that resonate with you and disregard gender. If I pulled King, Queen, Emperor, or Empress, we are really talking about a personality. I'll describe those characteristics. You'll know who we're talking about. Just disregard the gender. I do offer a membership. If you're interested in that, you can click the join button. Of course, you have to be subscribed to the channel to see that. And yeah, it'll show you all the perks there. So we are looking at March. I'll start with the Oracle. We'll grab some overall main energies, and then we'll clarify everything to look at all the different aspects that you need to be aware of this month. So let's begin. I did say Gemini, right? Yeah, this reading is for Gemini. I didn't say that, but I think I did. I don't know, I'm losing my mind at this point. We have adjustments are required, third quarter moon. Anxiety, anticipating impending danger, catastrophe, or misfortune. Reconnect, secrets lurk in the captive shadows deep in the woods. Soul Sanctuary. I rejuvenate my spirit in sacred retreat. I honor my soul's need for deep, nurturing rest. In stillness, I am filled with peace in my soul. Sanctuary. I don't know. Place these right here. Okay, that was dramatic. Wasting time, stuck no changes or limited. The overall energy for the month is the Queen of Pentacles. So let's have a look over at this. I kind of feel like before the reading even starts, you're already being called out. And I think you guys might also be really aware of it, that right now, in the current energy, I think as you're going into March, there's a lot of anxiety. And I think that you need to practice some grounding techniques, because I kind of feel like you are in this position, or at least you will be by the end of the month, where you're safe, you're sound, you have everything that you need, but you just keep looking back to your past and all of the things that you've been through, whether you think you're looking back or not. Sometimes it's just flashing back to all of these things that have occurred, but it's not where you are. And I think that something is going to happen here where you realize that you really do need to either get some help or to really work on some things here, because reconnecting with yourself. You know, maybe in the past you were in some shit, like maybe you grew up in a toxic home, got into some messy relationships, you know? Maybe you've just been through tons of things, but, you know, she's not looking forward in this deck. She's looking back at this path that she had to carve and climb her way through. But all of that is conquered territory now. And I think you're going to realize that there's definitely still some issues surrounding anxiety. So you have to get back in touch with yourself. Now, I think that this will be a big energy, like if you want to avoid certain situations this month, like serious situations where you feel like it's, you know, impeding danger, you know, like something crazy is going to happen. You need to sort of make sure that you are grounded and in the present moment and not stuck in some past situations, because it can really fuck you up in these types of things. So remaining stable and grounded is going to be really important this month, but it may be hard. But I feel like you've been spending a lot of time, like just wasting time, like dissociating back to some traumatic event or, you know, time period or some really abusive relationship. Anyway, let's get into the cards and see what they say. Tell me about adjustments that required. Okay. The Seven of Cups. The Ace of Cups. The Four of Swords at the bottom. I think with some of you, you need to pay attention to your emotions throughout the month. I would kind of like journal this while we're already working on some grounding techniques. I feel like you get confused in certain emotional situations, and either you kind of close off and get distant, you could just kind of like isolate. Some of you really need some, like, I'm not saying this in a rude way, but maybe some therapy, like maybe some professional help if it's that serious. Some of you may have like an actual like anxiety disorder, and obviously there are professionals that can work with that. Maybe you just don't know the actual like signs and symptoms of anxiety. You know, don't just go to Google and take that first like AI generated information. Like, really, I mean, you're a fucking Gemini. Look into anxiety and see if that's maybe matching you. And it could just be around specific areas. I think with you, it's your interpersonal relationships. I think in those you get kind of confused. You're always kind of like ready to fall in love a little bit, but also ready to just go. Sometimes you could feel stuck in them just based off emotions, but also you're confused. I don't know. I think that there's like a lot of signs here. Somebody's going to see that this is a lot deeper than just like some toxic shit. So with the Four of Swords. Like, I think you may sit around and almost like fantasize about all the things that could happen if you were to be vulnerable, if you were to open up with, if you were to genuinely love. And so you don't, you're just like maintaining a distance. You know, it's like even if you have friends, like you are not really with the closeness here. Queen of Wands. The King of Wands. Yeah, for some of you, it's a relationship. Like when you're in relationships, you may get really triggered, I want to say. So it could be like especially, you know, like I said, in those interpersonal relationships, especially in romantic relationships, where you see like the most problematic parts of yourself, and there's something much deeper there that you may actually need some help to get. Like it looks like you found like the right person, but you're just like really defensive. Because I have the Ten of Cups here. And it's not even necessarily this person. It's just, like I said, like, this bitch been through some shit. Like, some stuff, you know? But I feel like you're going to notice it here where, like, this shit is ruining your interpersonal relationships. I don't think it's just with your partner. You may see that the most, where there's, like, a lot of bickering or, like, overwhelm. But then also with like your other interpersonal relationships where you're like always worried and like just anxious, you know, and not like regular like anxious, like anxiety anxious, you know. There is help for that. And I mean, some people can't go to like therapy or something, and that's understandable. But just like you can look into tarot, you can look into, you know, mental health professionals that'll talk to you about how to cope with these things better. Because I don't think you're coping at all. I think that when you get stressed out, you are explosive. And that's just keeping it real. While we're moving into March, that's something we got to work on here. But we'll look even further. We're going to look into anxiety right now. The Knight of Cups, the Eight of Cups, the Six of Wands at the bottom. The Hanged Man, Pisces energy, Death at the bottom, Scorpio. I just wanted to further clarify that. Some of you need to pay attention to some signs here, like when it specifically it comes to relationships. Like you could find like decent people and still like find a reason to run. You know, like to completely abandon someone, like before they can do that to you. Maybe that was done to you, you know, before they can hurt your pride. Like something has you like running from love, maybe your whole life. Now my like subscribers, they range in all kinds of ages. I don't feel like I'm talking to somebody who's young. I'm talking to somebody in like their 30s, maybe 40s. It was like constantly looking for a reason to leave somebody so that they cannot do something like catastrophic to you. And in turn, maybe you don't realize that maybe you're doing that to these people instead. Just abandoning them, leaving them fucked up. Maybe some of you are looking at all the things that you've been through, but again, not very much in the present moment. You know, always like looking for either a way out so that, you know, it doesn't have to hurt the same way. You at least had some control over it. There's just like a real like paranoia around interpersonal relationships, people leaving you, people hurting you, and there's definitely some healing that needs to be done. You're going to see it for yourself, though, this month. With the moon, some Aquarius, some Pisces energy here. You're going to see it for yourself. So I don't even have to tell you it. It's just like the way that you react to like something so small, or maybe some information that you take in is going to change everything. So definitely make sure that you're paying attention to your emotions and your mood changes or shifts and the thoughts that you're having with the behaviors followed. You know, like just make sure you're really analyzing your own behavior this month so that, you know, you can see where some changes need to be made. Okay, tell me about reconnect. Two of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, the Empress, Libra Taurus energy. I feel like this is, I mean, when you're looking at the Two of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles, we're talking about a clear imbalance in time and energy. Don't forget yourself. I feel like this is part of the problem, you know, like people, they overwork themselves. They literally work too many hours, and they have to in order to pay the bills, to feed the kids that you have to pick up on time. So it's really hard to work extra hours. And you know, if you did, you would have to pay somebody, so it would be like working extra hours for no reason at all, especially after taxes, right? It's like that overwhelming stress of everyday life. You know, you have to make a little bit of time for some self-care, and I don't care if it's a 32-minute hot bath while the kids are asleep and the laundry's in the dryer, where you can just relax and only think about you and just give yourself some time. That has to happen, because I feel like somebody here is really not eating right, they're not sleeping right, and they're having all kinds of basically panic issues or serious anxiety issues, because for everybody there's different severities here. It's just go, 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 because you have a ton of responsibilities, and I understand that, but like I said, it's like, you know, 32-minute hot bubble bath, even if you're a dude. You have no idea how much that will change the energy and shift your mood. So, yeah, some of you just need to take a minute to like really pay attention to yourself. Wash that hair, honey. Shave those legs. Clip the toenails, use some lotion, put on the comfiest jammies, eat something you're not supposed to, and watch something crazy. But we'll grab advice with the cards. You don't have to take my advice. The Knight of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands. Yeah, slow down. You're just moving too fast. And I think that it's like your brain is just always racing, and there's just too much going on. Maybe it's like when it's saying when I felt like you should be journaling your moods and your shifts, is like you should really be paying attention to how you are feeling and like what is going on with you that day. You know, a lot of people are like, I'm really, really anxious today, and it's like they didn't eat anything. They had like 6 cups of coffee. They've been running around all day. They're just exhausted, you know? So we got to really pay attention to these things, and make sure that we're doing something about it in the time. Like if I feel like I'm just having a really shit day, do I just really need to like take a nap? Even if it's just for like 2 hours. Do I need to take a bath or a hot shower? Do I, just something to shift that energy, because some of you are having some really interesting issues here with stress. So you need to figure out really good ways to de-stress. However it suits your life. I mean, some of y'all literally ain't got shit to do. So you could take a 40-minute bath, watch the whole damn documentary in the bathtub, do what you do. But it's time to get some rest and relax a little bit and take care of yourself, because I think, you got too much going on here with this, like, emotional energy. Tell me about wasting time. Queen of Pentacles again. The Page of Cups. Where the hell did I get the Two of Cups from? The Ten of Wands. Again, like, look at her. She's so focused on that pentacle that there's no... There's nothing else happening here. I just feel like there's a ton of stress. It's time to really kind of end this. I feel like you've been wasting a lot of time, like, stressing the worst possible outcomes that never actually come. There's hardly any relief when they don't, because you're just stressing the next biggest thing. You've been completely disconnected, I think, from your emotions, except when you feel things like anger or frustration. That might be when it shows, but I feel like you got to pay attention to this for real. Because it's keeping you, stuck in some type of pattern that needs to change. Like, there could be some, like, emotional response, obviously, to stress that makes you really go back to some very childish state, or like a state you really just don't understand. And I think that you also could be so focused on the responsibilities that sometimes the responsibilities aren't getting emotionally from you what you need. And I don't mean to say that in a mean way. We sometimes just need to be reminded, like, hey, I had a shit day. I'm going to go play with my kids. That'll change the energy. Advice. The Three of Swords. The Four of Swords. The Seven of Cups. Yeah, like, for some of you, it's reminding you that there's other people around you who don't actually understand what you're going through. And it's just confusing to them as to why you're so distant. Like, you could be really, really, especially stressing money right now. And just remember, like, if you have kids, they don't know anything about that shit, They don't mean to stress you out further. But I think that that's, like, it's just what's all going on. It's like you're already anxious as hell, and on top of it, you've been through a lot, you're anxious, that more is going to come, and then on top of it, you got kids nagging, and all these responsibilities to handle, and you just feel like you're not getting anywhere, like you're just on a hamster wheel, like you just wake up every day and just do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and just years are going by, and you just haven't, like, made it anywhere else. And I feel like we all feel like that. We've made just little tiny bits of progress, Tell me about Soul Sanctuary. sometimes that we do have to reflect and just reconnect to that old version of us, like all the times that we thought that we weren't going to make it out of something, but we did. Like, we're pretty badass. We're resilient, right? Like, the Queen of Pentacles is badass. And just know that obviously you can get past anything, but sitting around and worrying about it to the point where you're like actually feeling sick and exhausted, probably not going to help. Not in any kind of way. Yeah, that Two of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, the Star. I'm going to read this again. I rejuvenate my spirit in sacred retreat. I honor my soul's need for deep, nurturing rest. In stillness, I'm filled with peace in my soul sanctuary. So yeah, it's really, that everyday work-life balance being off. Like, there's, like, I hear you, you know what I mean? But, like, remember that people do, one, depend on you, you know what I mean? And in the past, if worrying about anything ever did help it, I feel like there's some stuff that you do have to do. But I feel like here, it's like part of the healing is saying, yeah, I do have this issue, and this is what I have to do about it. Because this month is definitely going to be highlighted. Like, you could be getting more work put on your plate, or, just bills seem tighter or something, There's some unexpected thing that's coming up. And you start to get really negative. You feel like you can't make that happen. So you just stress it and stress it and stress it. Instead, like, do this in a positive way. How can I change it? What can I do about it, But yeah, advice. The Seven of Wands, the Chariot, some Cancer energy, Aquarius here. Some of you need to really figure out a way to balance your life to where there's a little bit of time for yourself, or you just free up a little more energy, like anything to help yourself out. Like, I feel like it's going to be a month where you need to relax more and spend more time really working through some shit that you got to do, Obviously, you can't abandon your responsibilities, but can you work smarter instead of harder in some kind of way? I just feel like you're putting a lot of additional stress on your plate, worrying about crazy shit too. It's like, say I already have kids to deal with, I gotta go to work, and I choose to worry about what the fuck a man is doing. How am I supposed to handle all of that? I just need a man where I don't have to worry about what the fuck he's doing, and vice versa if you are a man, like, why would I add stress to my plate? So a lot of it, it's like you need to position your choices and, like, what are you wasting time on? A lot of it is, like, just sitting around expecting the fucking worst in every single situation. I think you think too much, and I'm sure you think so too. So let's close this out by clarifying this Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords. Some of you are just worried about money. And this is what gets you, like, really anxious, And I think that this is likely for everybody on the planet. But how anxious are we getting? Again, I feel like it's telling you that you're going to have to, like, switch up your energy this month and how you normally deal with things. It doesn't work, so you have to do something different, If usually you just break the fuck down, burn out, melt down,
and, sleep for a week and then you're fine again for like 2-3 months and then do it again, then we're probably not actually coping with that appropriately, because the 32-minute bath once or twice a week is definitely a little better to deal with that. There is something here where like the stress and the anxiety is coming mostly due to the way that you are living, which is taking care of everybody and not yourself, just to keep it real. That's what we need to switch up this month. And I'm not saying not to take care of your kids. I'm just saying also take care of yourself. You get what I'm saying? Just so that we're clear and people aren't like, You're not going to be able to do shit for them if you just literally melt down. Some of you, a meltdown would result in a whole psychiatric center and you know it. We can't do that, especially if we have responsibilities. You have the Wheel of Fortune, the Ten of Swords, and at the bottom of the deck, the Knight of Swords. Queen of Swords. Yeah, I think there's just some changes that are definitely needed surrounding, like you may need to just reflect on some of the things that have happened. Maybe some of you really need to actually sort through those things. Maybe you never had the chance to, some of you are like single parents or something. You didn't have time to sit around and think about the shit you've been through. Now that the kids can kind of do things on their own, you're starting to think back to it, Damn, I've been through a lot. I've been on this hamster wheel forever. Well, you can get off the wheel, especially when it comes to this. You may feel like, most of the time you're just chilling, you're just cooling, and then sometimes you just snap on people, you just aren't making any sense to them. And I feel like you're worried about that, and then that stress makes it puts stress in your interpersonal relationships, just making the anxiety worse. And bringing the anxiety into other things here, like the way that we're feeling about ourselves and how much we've accomplished and how far we've come. And, I don't think that you're actually reflecting on that and being grateful of where you are, because the Queen of Pentacles is a pretty good place to be. Instead, it's like waiting for the next worst thing to happen. Always being on edge. And I think it's also saying like you're protected, like it was bringing up. Everything that's always happened, you always somehow made it. There's nothing to worry about. You just gotta have faith. But if you sit around in this energy, you're just gonna be in an early grave. That's the truth. All right, I'll see you soon.